accepting the reality of loss. When life strips you of everything, your job, your home, your relationship, your sense of stability, it feels like the ground has been pulled from under your feet. The shock can be paralyzing. You sit in silence, staring at the pieces of a life you once held so tightly, wondering how everything slipped away. In those moments, it's natural to feel anger, sadness, confusion, and even betrayal. But the very first step toward rebuilding your life after losing everything is to stop running from the pain and accept the reality of where you are. Acceptance doesn't mean you like it. It doesn't mean you wanted it. It doesn't mean you are okay with the suffering. It means you acknowledge the truth of your situation without sugarcoating it or pretending it's different. Because denial only prolongs the pain. When you deny the reality of loss, you trap yourself in the past, chained to what was instead of preparing for what can be. Think of a seed buried deep in the soil. To an outside eye, it may look as though that seed has been lost, hidden away in the darkness, covered in dirt. But in truth, it is in that very darkness where transformation begins. That seed must break, it must split open, and only then can it grow roots and push toward the light. In the same way, your loss, your brokenness, can become the fertile ground for your rebirth, but only if you allow yourself to see it for what it is. Many people spend years holding on to what should have been. They replay old mistakes, missed opportunities, or broken relationships, as if turning those memories over in their minds will change the outcome. But life moves only in one direction, forward. You cannot rebuild by clinging to what is already gone. You rebuild by deciding, this is where I am, this is what has happened, and now I choose to rise from here. Acceptance is not weakness, it's courage. It as looking at the ruins of your life and saying, yes, this is painful, yes, this hurts, but I will not let it define me forever. It's a declaration of strength, a statement to yourself and to the world that even though you have lost everything, you are not lost. The reality is, every great story of transformation begins with loss. People don't grow in the comfort of ease. They grow when life pushes them to the edge. And though it may feel like life has ended, what you're truly experiencing is the beginning of a new chapter. The fire that burned your old life down has cleared the ground for something far more powerful to be built. The first step is to breathe deeply. Look at your life as it stands right now and whisper to yourself, this is not the end. This is the soil of my new beginning. The power of acceptance. One of the hardest steps after losing everything is acceptance. Most people resist it. They replay the past in their minds, what they could have done differently, how life could have turned out, how unfair the situation feels. But here's the truth. You cannot rebuild your life while clinging to what has already crumbled. The moment you accept reality for what it is, no matter how painful, you create space for healing and growth. Acceptance is not weakness. It does not mean that what happened was okay or that you deserved it. Acceptance simply means acknowledging the reality of your situation without resistance. It means saying, yes, this is where I am right now. This is what I have, and from here, I will move forward. When you fight reality, you drain your energy, but when you accept it, you reclaim your power. Think about it this way. If a storm destroys your home, standing in the ruins crying, this shouldn't have happened, won't rebuild your house. The storm already came and went. The only way forward is to accept the loss and start gathering the strength to build again. The same applies to your life. Acceptance also gives you clarity. When you stop living in denial or drowning in regret, you begin to see opportunities you couldn't see before. You start asking better questions. What can I do today? What lessons can I take from this experience? How can I turn this pain into a new beginning? These questions shift your focus from loss to growth, from despair to resilience. Many spiritual teachings emphasize surrender, and acceptance is a form of surrender. Not surrender to defeat, but surrender to the flow of life. Sometimes what feels like an ending is actually a redirection. Life may have stripped something away from you, not to punish you, but to prepare you for something far greater. But you can only see that once you stop resisting and start embracing the present moment. It takes courage to accept. Your mind will try to pull you back into the what-ifs. But remember this, acceptance does not erase your past. It simply frees you from being chained to it. You honor your story, your pain, and your losses, but you refuse to let them define your future. When you practice acceptance, you unlock inner peace. And peace is the foundation you need to rebuild. Without it, you're just carrying anger, guilt, or despair into your new beginning. And that will only weigh you down. With acceptance, you lighten your load and make space for hope. So ask yourself today, what am I still resisting? What pain am I holding onto that I need to release? Because the day you truly accept your reality, no matter how broken it seems, is the day you take your first step toward creating a stronger, brighter life. The shift in perspective. When you lose everything, your perspective on life changes in ways you never imagined. The material things you once held tightly to suddenly don't seem so important anymore. The titles, the possessions, the recognition, when they are stripped away, you're forced to confront what's real and what truly matters. And it is in this very moment, when the noise of the world fades, that clarity begins to rise within you. This is where the spiritual awakening starts to unfold. You realize that life is not about what you have, but about who you are becoming. It's not about accumulation, it's about transformation. When everything is taken away, you begin to ask deeper questions. Who am I without my possessions? What is my purpose without my job, my status, or my relationships? What do I really value? These questions are not signs of weakness. They are signs of awakening. The shift in perspective teaches you gratitude in its purest form. When you no longer have the luxuries or comforts you were once used to, suddenly the smallest blessings shine like treasures. A simple meal, a genuine smile, the sound of laughter, or the gift of waking up to a new day, all of these become sacred. You start to notice that happiness was never in the things, but in the moments, the connections, and the growth you experience through life itself. It also humbles you. Losing everything strips away the ego. It reminds you that no matter how powerful or successful you once appeared, life can change in an instant. And instead of this humbling being a defeat, it becomes your liberation. Because when you release your ego, you open the door to a deeper, more authentic version of yourself. You see, the shift in perspective is not about denying the pain of loss, but about reframing it. Instead of saying, "Why did this happen to me?" you begin to say, "What is this trying to teach me?" And when you ask that question with sincerity, the answers come. You realize that your suffering has purpose, that it is sculpting you into someone wiser, stronger, and more aligned with your soul. This perspective allows you to rise from the ashes, not as the same person you were before, but as someone reborn. Someone who values growth over comfort, meaning over materialism, and peace over approval. And this shift is what makes rebuilding your life not just possible, but powerful. The gift of new perspective. When life strips you of everything you once leaned on, your possessions, your relationships, your comfort zones, it's natural to feel broken, lost, and overwhelmed. But in that emptiness, there is a hidden gift, the chance to see the world with fresh eyes. Losing everything doesn't just remove the external. It clears the fog that once blurred your inner vision. It forces you to question what truly matters and what has only been weighing you down. Think about it. How many of the things you thought were essential were really just distractions? How many of the people you thought you needed were actually keeping you from growing? Losing everything is painful, yes, but it strips away illusions. It removes the masks, yours and others. Suddenly, you see reality for what it is. And in that clarity, you are given the opportunity to rebuild, not from pressure, but from purpose. This new perspective shifts your relationship with gratitude. Before, you may have taken things for granted. The roof over your head, the warmth of a conversation, the strength in your body. But now, every small blessing begins to feel like a miracle. A sunrise is no longer just another day beginning. It's a reminder that life continues, that you are still here, and that you still have the chance to rise again. This transformation also teaches humility. When you lose it all, you realize how fragile control is, how quickly everything can change. But instead of letting this scare you, it awakens you. You stop chasing what doesn't matter and start aligning with what feeds your soul. You begin to value people who genuinely love you, opportunities that bring growth, and actions that connect you to your higher self. And here's the most powerful part. A broken heart, an empty bank account, or a shattered dream can become the soil where a new version of you takes root, with fresh perspective. You understand that your worth was never tied to what you owned or who you were with. Your worth is eternal, unshakable, and deeply rooted within. This awakening may feel like a storm, but storms clear the air. They wash away the old and prepare the ground for new growth. Losing everything is not the end, it is the sacred reset button. And once you press it, you don't just rebuild your life. You rebuild yourself, stronger, wiser, and more aligned with the truth of who you are. So instead of asking, why me? Shift the question to, what is life trying to show me? That question alone can unlock the wisdom you need to move forward. Because in the ashes of your old life, a new vision is waiting. And this time, it will not be built on fear or illusion. It will be built on clarity, gratitude, and strength. The power of gratitude and perspective. When you've lost everything, it's easy to fall into the trap of focusing only on what you no longer have. The pain of absence often blinds us to the blessings that still remain. But here's a truth that can radically transform your journey of rebuilding. Gratitude is not just an emotion, it's a spiritual weapon, a perspective shift that can open doors you never imagined. Gratitude does not mean pretending everything is perfect. It does not mean ignoring the hurt, denying the struggle, or dismissing the loss. What gratitude does is allow you to see the light in the middle of your darkness. It shifts your focus from the emptiness of your hands to the potential of your heart. Gratitude whispers, yes, you've lost much, but you are still breathing. You are still capable. You are still alive. And as long as there is life in you, there is hope for something greater. Think about this. Some of the most powerful transformations in history were born out of devastation. People who hit rock bottom often found within themselves a strength they never knew existed. Why? Because when everything else is stripped away, you begin to appreciate the simplest yet most profound blessings: your breath, your resilience, your ability to wake up and try again. Gratitude grounds you in the present moment, reminding you that your story is not finished. Here's the beauty of perspective. Two people can go through the same storm, but one emerges bitter, while the other emerges wiser and stronger. The difference lies in how they chose to see their struggle. One saw it as the end, the other saw it as a beginning. And this choice begins with gratitude. When you say thank you, even in your pain, you are declaring that your circumstances do not define you. You are affirming that there is something greater working behind the scenes, something divine aligning your steps. You may not have material wealth, but perhaps this loss has awakened your spiritual wealth. You may not have all the answers, but maybe this is your chance to rebuild with intention, with clarity, and with a deeper connection to what truly matters. Gratitude allows you to recognize that your loss is not just destruction, it is also preparation for renewal. So ask yourself today, what do I still have to be thankful for? It could be your health, your loved ones, your faith, or even the lesson hidden within your pain. Hold on to those blessings tightly, for they are the seeds of your new beginning. Gratitude waters those seeds, and perspective allows them to bloom into a future brighter than your past. Embracing a new beginning with faith and courage, every ending carries within it the seed of a new beginning. When you lose everything, it feels like your world has collapsed. But in truth, you've been given a rare gift, the chance to start over without the chains of the past holding you down. This is not just about rebuilding a life, it's about creating a new one that aligns with your higher purpose, your truest calling, and the divine plan meant for you. Think about it. When you had everything, were you truly fulfilled? Or were you just going through the motions, doing what society expected, carrying burdens that were never yours to bear? Sometimes life strips us bare so that we can finally see ourselves as we are, raw, real, unmasked. This is where true courage is born. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision to rise despite it. Rebuilding after loss demands faith, not blind faith, but a deep knowing that the universe is working in your favor, even when it feels like everything is against you. Every setback, every closed door, every loss has been carefully placed in your path to redirect you to where you're meant to be. Start embracing this truth. Nothing you've lost defines your worth. Your value is not measured by what you own, the titles you hold, or the people who stand beside you. Your value lies in the light you carry within, the resilience of your spirit, and the vision you have for your future. This is your chance to reinvent yourself, to dream bigger, to design a life that reflects your soul instead of your circumstances. The process of embracing a new beginning requires three things: faith, surrender, and action. Faith means trusting that everything will align in time. Surrender means releasing the need to control every outcome, allowing life to guide you with grace. And action means showing up every day, even in small ways, to build momentum toward your vision. This path will not be easy. There will be nights when the weight of loneliness presses hard on your chest. There will be mornings when the thought of starting over feels impossible. But remember, diamonds are formed under pressure, and flowers bloom after the darkest winters. You are in your transformation season. The pain you're feeling now is not the end. It's labor pains, birthing the person you're becoming. Embrace this new chapter not with fear, but with gratitude. Gratitude for the lessons, for the growth, for the resilience you've uncovered. Walk forward with the knowing that you are divinely supported. The universe is not punishing you, it is positioning you. What felt like destruction was actually preparation. What looked like an ending was really the beginning of your awakening. Rise with faith. Walk with courage. Step into your new life with the fire of someone who knows that nothing can break a soul that refuses to stay down. Rebuilding your life after losing everything is one of the most challenging journeys you can ever face, but it is also the most transformative. Losing the things you held dear, the people, the security, the comfort, feels unbearable at first. It can leave you questioning your worth, your purpose, and even your ability to move forward. But what seems like the end is often the beginning of a profound awakening. Life has a way of stripping away what no longer serves you so that you can be shaped into the person you were truly meant to become. The first step is to accept your reality. Acceptance is not giving up, it's courage. It's the willingness to look at the pieces of your life and say, "This is where I am, this is my truth, and from here, I will rise." When you stop resisting the loss and start acknowledging it, you reclaim the power that has always been inside you. You create space to rebuild not out of desperation, but out of strength. Next comes perspective. When everything is taken away, the illusions fall and clarity emerges. You begin to see what truly matters, what is essential, and what is fleeting. You discover that happiness is not in possessions, titles, or external validation. It is within you. Every sunrise, every breath, every small victory becomes a sacred reminder that life goes on and that you still have the power to create something extraordinary. Gratitude becomes your anchor. It transforms despair into hope and hopelessness into opportunity. Even in the midst of loss, focusing on the blessings that remain, your health, your resilience, your ability to grow, strengthens your spirit. Gratitude turns every tear into a lesson and every obstacle into a stepping stone. It allows you to see that what you lost may have been preparing you for what is yet to come. Rebuilding also requires action. Small, consistent steps create momentum. Each decision to move forward, Ward, each effort to improve yourself, each choice to release the past is a brick in the foundation of your new life. You don't have to rush. You don't have to have it all figured out. Every day you rise and choose growth over despair, you are rewriting your story. Finally, faith and courage guide you through this transformation. Faith assures you that the universe has not abandoned you and that the doors you need will open at the right time. Courage pushes you to keep stepping forward, even when fear and doubt try to hold you back. Together, faith and courage turn your loss into opportunity and your pain into power. Remember this: losing everything does not make you weak. It makes you awakened. It forces you to reconnect with your inner strength, your purpose, and your true self. What feels like destruction today is actually preparation for a life more meaningful, abundant, and aligned than you could have imagined. The journey will not be easy, but the life you build from here will be stronger, wiser, and more beautiful than anything you lost. So rise, breathe, move forward, rebuild. Your new life is waiting.